Municipal bonds are the best tool local governments depend on to finance investments. Taxing those municipal bonds could put county projects in jeopardy. Hello and welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Candace Kelly, and we are on location in our nation's capital for the National Association of Counties Legislative Conference. Joining me is Commissioner Amy Broyles of Knox County, Tennessee. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so this is an idea that's been put on the table to tax these municipal bonds, which I've spoken to so many politicians over the years. These are really the base of local communities. What would it do if these types of bonds were in fact taxed?
Well, the tax-free municipal bonds are what most local governments use to finance investment in their infrastructure, such as roadways, bridges, lots of energy projects, sewers, water treatment, health departments. Most county governments invest in a jail or part of a regional jail. Our schools, any capital project like that that requires a significant investment is usually done with these tax-free municipal bonds.
All right, so this obviously is something that you do not want to see coming. Some of the uses of these municipal bonds, just to remind people what could potentially happen if they are taxed, where do these monies go? Because they are very important in terms of when the population grows, the municipal bonds help to build schools, for example.
True. And in Knox County, we've seen population growth among our school-age children. We're having to build new schools. We've had a population growth in our senior citizens. We've used them to build new senior centers, new libraries, a new detention facility. These are all very important uses. And in Knox County, if these bonds were taxed, we would have significantly less resources to invest in these projects.
So obviously people on your level are trying to get the message to the government not to do this. What have you been doing to try to make the message heard that this could possibly cripple communities?
Well, just to get the word out that this is going to really hamstring us in terms of what we can do for our citizens, for our constituents. County government is really where the rubber meets the road in terms of implementing policies and programs from the federal, state, and local levels. And for example, county governments are responsible for over 44% of our nation's roadways. We are tasked with keeping those safe. We are responsible for educating our children. The investments that we make into new projects also spurs our economic development. It creates jobs. Right now, as we're coming out of this recession, we are struggling with how to compete in the 21st century. And hamstringing our investment possibilities is going to make that more and more difficult.
Absolutely. So in terms of a plan B, let's say that these municipal bonds are taxed. What do you do in order to form partnerships or collaborate or to find different resources for these monies? Where would that come from?
I would speculate that we would be looking at more regional approaches to development. And I think it's always wise to look at regional areas when you're looking at any kind of development and planning, but really it's the counties themselves who are tasked with this specific infrastructure investment. So we're really working hard with Congress to tell them just exactly how bad this is. We don't tax the federal government for their lands. They don't tax us for our municipal bonds. It's a great partnership. It's worked really well. And taxing our municipal bonds is just, it's a really poor way for the government to try to increase revenue. NACo has always advocated for a very balanced approach to deficit reduction, and this is not the best way to go about that. And I think that we're all being very vocal about that with our congresspeople, and I think the message is getting through.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for being with us. Hopefully the message is getting through for your sake.
Thank you.
All right, and thanks for joining us. I'm Candace Kelly.